Yo, what's good? Welcome to another episode of Fun with Dumb. The long-awaited interview has come. Most requested interview on my comments. People asking, are you still friends? Where is he? He just left you in the dust.
Have to give the people what they want. I'm here.
But good friend of mine for many years now. And, just seeing his career jump from the beginnings to the fucking depths of how far you could take this shit. This is my good friend Anderson Paak.
Good to see you, brother.
What's good, man?
Good,
it is
man.
always
I love
a pleasure.
You, bro.
First of all,
I said I love you, bro.
I love you too.
All right.
Just to clarify, y'all, we still hang out.
Still friends.
He's
Let me
called,
tell you something.
yeah.
Dumbfounder was one of the first people to ever really, really, truly believe in your boy right here. When I ain't have a studio, I don't have a car, I ain't have no weed,
Oh, man.
had nothing, had a baby about to be born, Korean wife. You know what I'm saying? Came into Koreatown. He said, I got you. I'm the king out
the
here.
Korean wife. As soon as I saw the Korean wife, I come in
You
here,
brought
bro.
me into the fold, man. You took me on my first tours.
Man.
You showed me so many things. I learned how to do the independent route, the merch route. Everything.
First of all, I trip out that I could teach you anything because you are crazy talented. And let me tell you right now, one thing I'll always say is that there's nothing that I feel like it was a mutual trade, because when you came into my life, you escalated my music knowledge.
You're getting free production.
Yeah.
A band.
That's what I meant, by the way. I was like, free beats. No, but I always say that because people always think you helped Anderson early on, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, bro. If anything, my albums and music would not have gone even this far if like certain cats didn't enter my life. You know what I'm saying? That's real shit. Like,
man, it was a pleasure, bro. And it was like, just seeing, how you did it and how you orchestrated everything and how you, did it. You didn't wait for anybody, you know what I'm saying? And you was early on that. You wasn't waiting on labels to tell you what to do, to show you how to do some 360 deal. You was already setting up tours. You was, doing the vlog thing. You was always activating, and I really appreciate it. You was very generous.
Much love, bro. And I'll tell you, it was kind of funny to see you early stages, like figuring out like your whole thing.
So many different hairstyles,
different
wardrobe,
outfits. I remember we went to London for the first time back in the day.
The Nepalese mafia.
Yeah. For some reason, I have a huge Nepalese fan base in London. This was like a big ass venue too. Like this was, it was
the O2 Arena.
It was like the O2 Arena, and like it was thousands of people. And I remember you had the jumpsuit you were wearing throughout the whole tour during the jumpsuit era. And I remember, I think I went on stage after you performed, and I made a quick joke about you wearing a jumpsuit. And afterwards, you pulled me to the side like, yo, fam, don't make fun of my jumpsuit on stage. I swear to God. You were kind of pissed, bro.
I was sensitive about my fashion statements at the time.
He was like,
I knew you didn't
bro.
understand it. It was it was early on the trend.
Because I was joking, like some custodian joke or something. You pulled me to the side after the show, like, fam, that was a lot of people out there.
15,000 people, bro. I'm not the subject of your bit. I'm from North Koreatown, the bad part of Korea.
Oh my God, why you gotta just
that was your bit.
I'm still doing the bit.
That was
fam.
your bit. You swore by that joke.
I'm still doing the bit, but yeah, that was a fun trip, and that was your first time in London too.
Yeah.
And man, I'll tell you right now, it still trips me out that we'd be touring and you were drumming for me, bro.
Yeah, straight up, bro. That's what I was tripping off, man. I was telling somebody the other day, everybody thinks it's like an overnight thing, where, man, you just came out of nowhere. I was like, not really, bro. I was definitely putting bands together for yourself, and it was dope. It was you were just kind of coming up too, these big tours. Some of them you were opening, and you were putting me on your set to do 12 minutes before you go out. You know what I'm saying?
The funny thing is, everybody else that you met, even through me, hired you to work with them.
Then the next thing I was with Watsky. Then I was with Wax. You know what I'm saying? You guys were just doing it. You guys were doing your own thing again. You guys were already setting up your tours, and you guys were like, come out with us. Let's go.
But here's the thing. Cats, I feel like people who encountered you every time, just meeting through me or whoever it was, they felt the same way. They were like, oh, shit, this dude's talented. You got to hop on my shit, my tour, my music, or whatever.
Yeah. Nah, man, I wish there was more of that, man. How y'all did it, it was when Watsky had it and he brought you out, he had you open up, and then I was working with you, so he was like, okay, you needed
Right.
a band too, so it worked out. I wanted the exposure. I had never been on tour. I just put out a mixtape on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Literally, I remember staying up, uploading it at your house, I think.
Right.
And just not even knowing how to do it, uploading it right, different versions and stuff, and then right after that, getting like 500 CDs and going on tour with you, and it was it. And I was on tour after that all the time.
And let me tell you right now, first of all, not one person puts on anybody. It takes a village to put on a talented person. I'll tell you right now, because prior to meeting him, he was part of several crews. You know what I'm saying? And playing and even when we were working together, you were playing at the church every Sunday.
Absolutely, yeah. That was like that was it. That was religion.
Going in and this was like not close to LA too,
I was
right?
going all the way to Oxnard.
And then playing like the Sunday. Like what did you just play drums on at the church?
I started playing drums in church when I was like 12. So that was like my schooling, and I kept doing it all the way till I was like 27, 28. I'm 33 now, so it was my main source of income.
That was to the very end,
and it was it. It was just like clockwork, and it was dope because it kept me playing all the time and kept my chops up. But yeah, I was holding on to that until I got too busy with my stuff, and then eventually had to stop.
It's crazy because I respect you because you did the whole make beats for every like consecutive summers shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And bro, like I remember one summer, like more than one summer, but at my crib, like I had a studio, and there'll be times where I come home late. Next morning I wake up and you'd be in my studio recording because I just gave you a key. You'd come in, but you'd bike. This was like the one year I lived like not in Koreatown, Culver City.
You was hurting.
You biking to my studio every morning from Koreatown to Culver City, and that's not close.
Yeah. I would just take Venice all the way down, take the bike, and that was it. That was good meditation. I mean, you, like I said, you would just, here's my key, man. Use it whenever you want. Make sure you
literally waking up to some of the records like people around the world have heard now.
Yes,
like that's what people don't even know. Like that's why whatever instrument you have don't make the music, because you are making crazy music that are on your albums that sold 100,000 copies and plus. And you made that in these small studio rooms.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
one like inside this building here somewhere that we had a while back, to my crib. Like, man, I mean, and it took, and I'm not going to say anything, it did take a while for people to catch on, because even that time, when you were making the same music that you were performing and you put out on several thousands of records, like, people weren't like jumping on it.
Right, yeah.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Remember when we were making, like, you were making these records, and then, like, we had... I was like trying to play it to like other homies and shit. Like cats like
I
this
remember
is
Rex
good.
Dizzy was like, it's too complicated, man. It's too complicated, bro. Come on, man.
I mean, there was a lot of cats who thought it was amazing, but I felt like some cats just didn't even jump on it.
Yeah,
that's the interesting thing about it. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's crazy because music moves so fast, and trends and all this stuff. And I feel like maybe it might have been a little too early, and eventually I feel like we started finding our audience. The more we played and the more we got exposed to other people and toured around, we started building our audience, and then I felt like people just caught up to like what we were doing, and as we also kind of learned how to fine tune it. It might have been a little raw back then too,
right?
Like, I was just going for it, like my life depended on it.
And I remember all the genres. You had doo-wop records,
everything, you know.
Yeah. Oh, there's still that ill like doo-wop record you never put out yet. Yeah. That shit is crazy.
I got a few records, man. It's definitely from that era. I was focused, bro.
What made you like? I feel like Venice was the first kind of focused record.
Yep. Yeah.
And like, what was like the whole inspiration behind that first record? You feel like
during that time I was working in your studio, and I was doing I was pretty much isolated, and I did a lot of records from Malibu in that time where I was waking up early. I woke up like 8 o'clock. I wasn't drinking, smoking. I go to your studio in this building, or the one at your spot, and I would go in there for like 8 hours, and then I'll be back by dinner, and I'll just do the same thing every day. And that's when I was trying to go in and make specific type of records. So I had different agendas every time.
Right.
But I was like, okay, I looked up like Sam Cooke, Otis Redding and stuff. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to make a stream of records kind of like this, because I have a similar tone and stuff. So I was making those things. And then after I did that for so long by myself, I wanted to work with other producers.
Right.
So I was already connecting with Low Def at the time, who now goes by Callum Connor. And he started sending me a bunch of beats. and he was working with you. I met him through Are We There Yet?
Yeah.
So
yep.
again, through you, and connected that, and I started getting more, his beats were like more modern and like R&B radio sounding type beats, so it was refreshing because I was locked up in a room making like a lot of live instrumentation.
I feel like that's dope because he kind of grew his sound too with you as we listening to your vocals and stuff.
Yeah. And so I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool to I thought it was two worlds meeting. So we started doing records in like Paint, and I think that was the first record we did, and I ended up going on Venice. Yeah, it might be Drugs, you know. And I had the songs that I did by myself, but I was torn because once we did like Drugs, and we put that out like SoundCloud and stuff. They started playing that at like Low End Theory and stuff.
Right.
So we was like, oh shit, we lit.
Yeah, I remember Nobody playing that record.
Yeah, Nobody, and then it started catching way. So like we was like, man, let's just make an album like this we'll start in Venice, and then we'll do the Malibu stuff after. That Malibu will be more mature.
So wait, what was so you pre-conceptualized the whole beach journey?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to figure it out because I was thinking like, how am I gonna go from Drugs and all like that tone to like The Bird, and it be a stretch, or people will feel it's not a stretch. So I was like, okay, I'll make it like locations, so then it's fun. Then it's like, what's the sound of this album? You know, what's the sound of this? So this was Venice, it's like urban. Yeah, this is Drugs and
gritty.
808s.
Yeah, it's the beach, synths. But it's still the hood.
Yeah. Beat scene driven. We had Toki Monster and who else was on? DK. I feel like maybe was Talk on? No, we was during that time, and Callum did the most of the whole record, and we just structured it, and that was Venice time.
Let me ask you, because I've seen you in certain like really low points too, where you were struggling to pay certain bills and stuff. Like what kept you going in those moments? I'm curious because I'm just thinking back, right? Like you had moments where you're like, yo, could I borrow, $100 or something like that? And I was just like, but the spirits seemed pretty high and shit, like, yo, I remember like we went on tour one time and like your wife and kids staying at my like small studio. Like in my studio is like not nice or anything like that during that time. But like this was in MacArthur Park, roaches and everything. And I was just like, damn, bro, like you're, I'm sure your wife is like kind of, I don't know where she was at mentally, even seeing you struggling and grinding on this, because sometimes your spouse could be like, yo, go out and get a job or some shit.
She went and got a job. I remember I was stay at home dad,
really?
Taking Soul to school. She was working at the cafe. It was just like anything.
Right.
We needed money just to support her Starbucks habit. Like we didn't have enough money for that. Everything was bad.
Your wife is on some real Korean woman shit where they buy mad coffee every single day.
Don't you know? I came home one day and I was like, look, this is how much we're spending just on Starbucks alone.
I could see you pulling along.
I had the chart. If we could just save this much amount. And she was like, what? We over here budgeting coffee? Oh, hell no, I'm getting a job. Go ahead and do your thing, man.
God.
I was like, I'm technically not making any money from this, but we knew it was going to pay off. And it was people like you, people like Shafiq, Brian Lee, people that really were like, it's going to pop for you.
Right.
And if you need anything that I have to help, it's yours.
And that's the thing.
And that's all I had around me.
I love that people, not even just me, but tons of people around the Los Angeles scene supported you so much that like they wanted to see you succeed. Like if you needed that resource, they were like, here.
Even if they ain't have it, like here, like I only got it for a little bit, but you can share it with me until we both get kicked out.
If you didn't even pop off, I guarantee there'll be one motherfucker just be like, yo, if you need the money here, like don't do that right now.
Yeah.
Some K-Town gangster that you'll end up owing money.
Right. Yeah, but that's how people get caught up.
You can't take money from the wrong motherfucker.
I mean, and when you're broke and you're trying to feed your family or pay the bills, you'll sign all kinds of crazy stuff. And I had people in my corner, Adrian Miller, that wasn't letting me sign stupid stuff.
That's true. You could have.
There was so many production companies and pub deals. I was about to be like, look, they offering $1,500, man. I'm about to sign all my pub.
I remember you were mentioning these moments where it's so tempting too, right?
Dude,
like you ain't got
nothing.
shit.
I was on a bus, like it was like, and when I think about it, there's definitely worse things, and I always could do music,
right?
But it was just like, in LA, it's like keeping up with everything is such a facade, and it's aesthetic and appearance and the illusion of having it is so important. So you can get caught up in that fake stuff.
I mean, I see that all the time because the pressure to keep up with that shit is so tough, especially
and
now.
You lose sight of your dream, and you just working some other thing.
I remember, back in my parents' generation in the Korean community, there was a lot of parents just like spending more money on the whip than the apartment. Like drive a Lexus, but we'll live in like a 1-bedroom apartment with a family of 5 or some shit. Just because the appearance was so much. But like, I could only imagine the pressure now. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
All the kids, every kid, rich kids or something, posting some Instagram photos of like new, fucking drip, like new clothes on.
Yep.
Everybody trying to keep up. I mean, the music side, I felt like that pressure still, it probably existed during that time too, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, it was there. There was always like a, man, you should be bigger than you are, or why that kind of vibe.
That's kind of annoying at some point to hear, right?
Why would you say that to anybody?
Like, I'll tell you right now. You know what? I told you this last time we joked around about this. Like someone being like, "Dumb, you got so much potential." Like, motherfucker, I've been in the game for 15 years. I don't want to hear about potential.
Like you on your second win, you a rising star.
That's what I'm saying. It's just funny. It's funny to me, but it is kind of annoying. And it's like, I know they mean well, but that shit feels really bad to hear.
Yeah, man.
I'm like,
why are these people taking pictures of you? Who are you? Like, what are you supposed to say to that?
Right. Who are you?
Apparently, I'm famous. I don't know. Like,
I've had.
Do you want a picture too? Like, when they don't know you and people take a picture, oh my God, you're Anderson Paak. A couple people don't know you. Like,
right.
What? Who? Why?
I'll say this because you have 2 kids. I met you when your first child was like just a baby. Or soul, and I mean, he's a damn near grown man.
He's a grown man.
He's a grown man. He is
he's
almost
8 years old, but
he plays the blues now. No, I'm playing. No, but he just seems like super fully grown. And at the time, you were hopping around, like you were really like, trying to take care of a kid. I remember, I have a lot of friends who have kids who I started off with, like No Can Do. He had like a baby when we were like battling at like 16, 17 years old. Right. He was like battling for diaper money.
That's why he was rapping like he was. Like his life depended on it.
He was winning the battles at the Asian hip hop summit and shit, like against Asians and shit.
Baby need a new pair of shoes.
Yeah. I mean, was that part of the inspiration too? Like when you're on the come up?
Absolutely. Yeah. When I had my first kid, I started thinking outside of just about myself and thinking outside of the box and start thinking, I have a family to support now. Like they deserve better. I want to give them more. I don't want to be that. I want to be a good example, and I want more for myself. And it's not just about me anymore. And I can't just sit here and just be doing nothing, and while I have a full family now, so it gave me more of a sense of urgency, and so then I started getting more focused about my artistry, as opposed to just whatever. Just do it for me.
Yeah, and you can't. Life. And touring isn't as easy too when you have a family, right?
It isn't. If you have a partner that is willing to work with you, it can be beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Right. But if you have someone that's trying to compete with touring, it could be hell. You know, if you need someone that needs a lot of attention, then you probably shouldn't be touring too much, or you probably don't want to be with them if you're going to be a musician.
And it has to be worth it when you go out now, right?
Yeah.
Because you're spending time away from loved ones and stuff. Like.
Yeah. Well, I just have to be smart. Like, if I go out, I got to make money. You know what I'm saying? And I learned about that this last tour.
That might have been kind of tough in the early years because the money isn't crazy coming back with.
Yeah. It isn't crazy, but we always saw the momentum coming because once I started touring, it started developing my live show, and then I realized, okay, like I could develop as a performer, and build my show, and I started, learning more and more with every tour, and the only way you're gonna learn is doing a lot of shows.
And you saw the numbers grow like per fan.
Yeah. Well, I was first started off just being a part of going on you guys' tours, helping you guys any way I could. I'll play your band and I'll do backgrounds, and if I can just get 15 minutes before. I'll be of service, and I did that for years, and I went all over the world with that. Like when I went on my first national with you, went international, hopped on Watsky, went international, did like 60 dates. Then Wax was like, let's all do our own. That was my first headline tour.
That was our co-headlining Wintervention tour.
Yeah,
you, me, and Wax.
So I was like, cool, boom. I had built the audience by then, just from your audience and from people that had
because we all co-headlined that.
Exactly, and I was putting out tapes, so it was cool. So then after that, I just continues with that momentum. And yeah, that was it was tough because money was not popping like that, but it was we saw a bigger picture, and we saw like it was gonna get better, and with every show. And then when I finally broke off and was able to go with the Free Nationals and we did our first thing, it was beautiful.
Let me ask you this. Hold on, let me just double check. Before we keep going. I get paranoid like we haven't been recording.
Right, dude, that happened recently.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you about the Free Nationals, because this is a band you've been with from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like every member you've known like almost 10 years plus or so, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because the first time I actually saw you perform and was like, okay, certain cats in LA were kind of talking about you like in a super underground level, not like, you know, buzzing everywhere.
What do you mean? They weren't talking about me on
there was like, because I mean, I think I heard about you actually through like even Verbs or something like that before, you know, I came upon you.
Right.
Like, and Verbs is like the underground LA underground master.
He's
you
a
know,
staple.
He is a staple. And then so I went to Lyraflip's event, Melting Pot. Lyraflip was a member of my crew swim team back in the day.
Shout out to Lyraflip.
And he had this monthly he just started up. I go to the monthly. I finally get to check you. I was there alone actually, and and your girl was there too.
Yep.
So I see you over there, and you're drumming, rapping, singing, and I think I saw Jose, and like your whole band's pretty much now still.
Yeah.
And I talked to you after. I'm like, bro, like that was dope, man. I definitely want to get you in the studio. You want to work on stuff together. You were like eager.
Yeah, because it was crazy. Because right before I did that, me and my wife were talking about you. Like,
right.
Like I forgot how it came up, but we was looking you up and looking up your music. Oh no, it's after I met you. We started looking up your music and was like, oh dude.
She might have known.
Lyraflip was saying you got to meet my boy Dumb.
Right.
He just kept saying it.
Right.
So then we finally met there, and then after that we looked you up and stuff. I was like, oh,
yeah,
he's
and
lit.
And I'd done some Korean stuff, so Jalen was probably like, oh, there's some Korean collabs with some other like Korea artist or something. But and then we got in the studio immediately, and like you jumped on like 4 or 5 songs on my first shit.
She's a bitch.
I regret that song. Actually, not.
Biggest one that I dealt with.
We had all types of weird joints.
And
like
I can't help it. She's a bitch.
Bitch.
You wrote that one. That was a ghost.
I did write that one. I was like,
all right, bet.
And then but you hopped on, and you ended up just in the first month of meeting, hopping on like 4 or 5 of my joints. Eventually, leading up to another album we did, where like you executive produced the whole thing.
Take the stairs.
Yes, add Big Bear. And
Come on now.
And Soul was there as a baby.
Classic memories.
Yeah, that was amazing, man.
That was another thing, man. That was another thing you showed me. It was like when you got some bread, you took it to the cabin, did a whole album at the Lockout.
The Lockout,
you know, traveled. Do you record and travel the world? That's it.
That was amazing, bro. And I definitely feel like I've done some of the most amazing records through you actually, and just learned a lot, man. Honestly, I learned a lot from that shit.
Same, bro. That was it. And I was getting all the practice.
Right.
That's when I was really making beats and stuff. So
I mean, the dope thing is like your loyalty with your band too. And I see that. Is that something like you were just like always told yourself like these are the cats I'm gonna do stuff with? Because even with people who come up with certain bands, that's like a very rare case.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I always had the freedom. I was always able to work with other musicians and producers. I always did that. But when I started the band, like, that was it. And I feel like I just always have that naturally. And if we're not doing that, I feel like we're not a band anymore, almost.
Right.
So it's natural for me to just be like, yo, I write the best stuff with these dudes. These are the same brothers I shared so many experiences with. And,
right.
So Jose, Ron, and Kelsey, and Matt, dude, it's like we've been through it, traveled and talked and fought.
I know. Does that help it, or is it more even difficult because you guys are such brothers, and friends?
Yeah, I think it's both. I think naturally it's I'm fighting like the isolation from being away from them, but I don't want to be too far away. I want to be able to give them their space to grow as well. But I also feel like, y'all need me to get in there and do and help too. And, but I'm battling that, and also too, it's like everyone has their own path. I feel like we're all a band of individualists, that are coming together, for a time and like to believe in one thing. That's why I think what we've done has been so powerful, because everyone is kind of submitting or playing a role in a sense, but everyone is capable of just doing their own thing solo too.
Right.
So that's awesome too. But at the end of the day too, they're like my best friends. So when they're not around, it's like I'm feeling like I'm losing touch, and I want to continue to keep that.
Right.
So sometimes I force them to hang out with me, and I'll pay for trips and just for them to hang out.
Yeah. I mean, it's all like team building exercises.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Does your first son Soul? Does he kind of realize like how far you've come, like your trajectory? Because he was pretty young, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if he just like has seen that, like from the struggle days to like now, you know?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he's very intuitive, very smart. He's smarter than I ever was, and I really learned a lot from him. He's so patient, and he definitely knows what's up. And we always take him around, and to the old neighborhood and off of Commonwealth and show him.
Word?
He still remembers it. Yes, the old house. Remember this? We used to walk over here and all that stuff. Don't ever forget it. And he lets me know, he's very attentive about the music and my music.
Right.
If I have something new coming out, and he's like, oh, what is this? And he knows every little nuance. Even when I think he's not paying attention, he's paying attention.
Yeah.
And he's also not easily impressed. So it's really cool. So it's like, if it ain't.
Wait, what does he listen to?
He listens to Marshmello. And
oh, wow. So the EDM stuff.
He likes Marshmello because Marshmello's like the king of Fortnite too, and so
the video game stuff.
Yeah, shout out to Marshmello too. He's
and he loves dancing and stuff too.
Yeah,
right?
he loves that stuff. Yeah, because he was early. He loved like dubstep and all that stuff early when he first came out too. So
yeah, like all those YouTube videos.
Yeah,
the dubstep dancing is crazy.
Yeah, but he has really good taste too. He just in general. Right now he's obsessed with Lil Wayne.
Okay.
So we're going back and listening to the Carter albums, and
he's going back.
He's obsessed. Yeah, he won't stop playing a Millie like it just came out yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, he has newer things. Like, this is incredible. He loves Busta Rhymes.
And he speaks very fluent Korean too. We talked about this.
He's bilingual, bro.
And yeah, his Korean's like really good.
He's my translator.
I can't wait to see. I haven't seen him in a minute, but I want to just see how far he's gone in the Korean.
He's in Korea right now, flexing.
Yeah. He's loving it.
Going in. 안녕. Hey. 뭐야?
I always tell people the two people in my life that understand, like, even though they don't speak Korean fluent or whatever, just understand the nuances of Korean language. It's like you and Zoe. You and Zoe just get it. Like, y'all got the nunchi. Y'all go to the restaurants.
똑똑해. 진짜 똑똑해. Okay?
You just get it. You get it, bro.
알아.
You damn near could be. You got to keep. If you just kept at it, you could probably.
싫어. 나리야. 싫어.
Sounds loud as fuck.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's some Korean drama shit, bro.
Sick.
That's some Korean drama. I loved all the the family stuff. When you get out to Korea, see all the family. You got the family pictures.
Did you see my family picture?
The family picture of just, it's like,
yo,
you look photoshopped in that.
No, my God.
You look straight.
Maybe I have to bring that up. Can I show that?
Yeah. Do you have it on your phone or what? Put it on that or something. Oh, put it here. Yeah, I could. I just put it on post.
I'm gonna send it to you.
All right. Put it in the. What you're seeing right now is the family photo of Anderson Paak with his wife's side of the family. We're talking her parents. Like, what is it? Like grandparents on there or what? Is there?
Yeah, her grandparents, her parents, and her brother, and my son and me.
You're wearing the
weird ass with a beanie and a denim coat, and everyone else is wearing like full on like church clothes.
The straight black sheep.
And I look like I'm just like came in and just I'm standing in for someone.
And this was like the first time you went to Korea and you kind of experienced everything there, and you're meeting for
the first time.
How was that, bro?
It was great. It was amazing, man. I was just drinking with the dad and eating hella food and just trying to be polite. I was using every Korean word I knew.
Did they even understand?
Not a single word. We just drank hella soju.
Oh, like the whole like
a lot of head nodding. And,
right. And they came to the show, right?
They did.
Yeah.
And once they saw the show, it was a wrap. Like they were
blown away.
It was so special, man.
They
aunties, everybody.
They couldn't even fathom.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
It was crazy, man. You know, like she came out. My wife came out to Korea. You know, just her and just to go to college, and they sent her out here, and they didn't have a bunch of money for that. They just sent her out here just to get her little college degree and figure it out.
Music college, mind you, which is
music college, Musicians Institute,
which is not like in the Asian culture, not like a guaranteed career.
Nah, it's not like they sent her to Yale or something. No, like what the hell? And then she came back with a black dude. Like they were super pissed.
Where's the degree? You came back with degree. A black guy?
Black dude, you pregnant. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. It wasn't the best response early on.
Nah, they were tight about that, man, at first.
Yeah.
And I think once they met me and got to know me and saw everything, they just
you were even like, I owe it to you to kill this career. No, I know your parents were already disowning you. I owe this to you.
Ride or die, baby.
Right.
I love you. I got you, baby.
That's what I'm saying. You had to hold it down. You had the kids, your wife, and her family.
Everybody's risking it all. I gotta go hard, bro.
For real, bro.
Yep.
Damn. I didn't even think about that element.
I'm just realizing that too right now. Like, yo,
damn,
that's it,
bro. Like, and then you did it. You came through on the promises. You came through.
Hey, man, we still got ways to go.
Ways to go, for sure.
It's better than what we were, man. Sometimes I miss those days, though.
Yeah. I mean, what do you miss about it in those days, really? Is it what is different that you feel like you can't get back?
I think it's all still there. Because
I feel like, especially for you, man, like you really did. The friendships are still there.
Yeah.
The family is there. It's even stronger, really. Mm-hmm. Maybe the friends don't see each other all the time.
Yeah, we just have more time to kick it. Yeah. There was more time with my kids. I remember just being able to I would stay with them. That was it. Just weeks and months at a time. And I remember Soul just coming up, taking him to school, seeing him.
The bonding stuff. Yeah.
Now, you tour so much. You come back, kids is grown. Everybody's got their own world,
Do you see that? Like maybe on one run, you leave for tour, you come back, and you significantly see your kid has
Dad,
grown.
Learn how to ride a bike, everything.
Yeah, Dad, I'm crip walking now.
What's your vibe, Dad?
I know how to break dance.
Because I already got it together. Yeah. No, it's great. I'm just trying to come in establish chemistry on day one.
Right.
Come on, let's learn a handshake, something.
Right.
Nah, that's the only part. It's just like, you miss the time. I miss my time with my kids. I miss being able to spend a lot of quality time with my family and stuff. And so it's just about and then because I'm gonna do when I go on tour, I don't like to bring the family and stuff. I don't want to sound bad or something, but I love being on the road by myself.
I feel you. Yeah.
Being with my band, it's a lot going on.
It's not the best environment for children either.
I feel like when he's older, I'm gonna bring him all.
Cool.
But yeah, because then when I'm with my family, that's I try to make try to be really present.
For sure. Not like half and half shit.
Yeah.
Like you're there.
I mean, it's tough. Sometimes we're all in the living room, just all on our contraptions. I'm on the phone, son's on the pad, wifey's on Korean dramas on the laptop.
It's tough because this is your prime time of, you have to be out there all the time right now. Maybe you'll get that one year break or whatever, but right now it's the prime time, so you got to be out there.
Got to strike, especially in this era of this era that we're in, of music and how it's being received and how fast the pace it can go. How much time you stay out and how much time you put in. So the balance is real, but she holds it down, bro. So that's pretty much why it's able to be so fluid. We
were talking about this, how your last tour you were doing arenas, and you don't have radio singles,
right?
And what do you think? How do you explain that? How you're packing in these arenas, no radio play,
right.
But we talked about this last time about how there's this you're one of these artists that you can go to your show with your mom or dad too, and both enjoy it.
There's radio. There's people that have big radio hits that have never done a festival in their life.
Right.
They've never done a venue past 1,500 people in their life.
Right.
They've never traveled outside of the country.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's people with huge hits. There are people that have a stream of radio hits that have never been able to go to places tour places like Japan or India or Europe, Australia. I've done all those things. So I think it's a matter of, there's a whole strong movement of people that listen to other things outside of terrestrial radio, you know what I'm saying, and that's not a knock to radio artists or the radio in general. I think it's just I cater towards that audience and that movement of people that want to hear what's not on the radio and that are really feeding for something different, feeding for live musicianship, feeding for musicality, some interesting wordplay, and people that are bringing funk and
especially
soul.
this time around where you don't get a lot of that with new artists.
Yeah, and there's a whole bigger market than just America. You know what I'm saying? There's people that love real music all over the place.
And I'm sure that was even a factor with a lot of cats early on. The reason they didn't pull the trigger on you as an artist because they were like, yeah, he's dope, but are we gonna get radio hits from this dude?
Right. And that's the thing. That's when I look about my career and stuff. Is like that's the one thing that I haven't conquered yet. And it's not to say it's about conquering, but I feel like that I have that burn too now. It's like I want.
I see you. I see you posting it like we're climbing the charts.
Yeah, because that's it. It's like, what you gonna do? I'm all about trying to do something challenge and not get comfy. So there's always that. There's always there's always work to do. There's always that, you know.
Right,
But it's just about maintaining your integrity and not doing anything that is not you. Because at the end of the day, I can make a radio hit per se, but am I gonna be able to perform it? Am I gonna be able to really commit, sell it, do the things that is needed? Because that's what it is. It's more than just, once you got the hit, then you gotta, you gotta play it. You gotta promote that. You gotta be that. You gotta live that.
Yeah.
And it's, some of these dudes is out here doing songs that they wish, they probably hate maybe, or maybe they're trying to, they only got one hit and now they're trying to get another, and now they're in a position where they're trying to fight for something as good as that, and now it's about staying relevant as opposed to just making the best music possible.
Does it? I mean, just recently, you saw that Madison Square Garden, right? And that was like when I saw the footage and stuff. That looked crazy. First of all, I mean, was that a moment, or is it at this point like you feel it's normalized, like selling out arenas and stuff?
That was a moment, man.
That was a moment.
Power to the people, man. Like the fans made that happen.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, fans are dedicated and they really showing that he doesn't need to be like this radio star in order to fill these places up.
Yeah, and you felt that.
They show that, and they show that love. Some of these dudes, they can't afford them tickets. They're saving all up for that arena ticket.
That's true.
I'm like, dude, these people getting like nosebleeds, and they get people on the floor, and it's just crazy to think about that. Like, these people are doing that for me, for what we write. Like, I never thought like people would relate to some of the stuff that I was writing. I was nervous to put it out.
That's what you said is true. I don't want to interrupt you, but that's what you said is true, because with arenas in particular, this isn't like you can't be all rich and go to a show. You know, like everybody has different they can afford to see.
Yeah, some people working their ass off, bro. Some people never been to a concert, but they're like, I gotta see this.
Right.
And then so it's like, man, that's just nothing but gratitude, and to be on the stage with the same people that I was rocking with 10 years plus, and now to see them blossom. I'm seeing Ron have his own segments where T Nava, he's doing his vocoder and all this stuff, and I'm seeing him, become more of a star. We got new people like Maurice Brown, and it is playing, trumpet, and he's already a legend in his own right. But him coming in, makes me feel like, when Sting was bringing like these jazz players in on his mix, and I got the Honey Pack, the two singers, and they're artists too, and that makes me reminisce on when I was singing background just to make some money and to get some exposure, but I have my own dreams too, so it's like I'm gassing them, letting them know that I'm just like one part of their whole journey, but it's cool to see them in their journey too.
Right.
And Jose, that's been probably the longest member, Jose and Kelsey and Matt. Those dudes, they've been writing for forever, and Kelsey got crazy production. He got 3-4 other bands that he's doing. Jose got a whole album, that he's doing, and Matt stayed just with, always hitting me with my singles from the album, and getting better and better, and always evolving too.
You signed Free Nationals to your label, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What's the name of the label?
The label.
Or is there a name or no?
There's no name right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't say the name right now because we're working on it.
Yeah.
So
okay. And they're getting ready to push a record, right?
Yeah. So we've been putting out singles.
That's dope.
And we're about to drop it. I don't think they have the release date yet, but.
Is that like a whole nother element of you being like, okay, I'm the CEO of this label?
Well, it's horrible because I did it because like, you know, I felt like I had to be a businessman, and okay, well, I want to sign him because I don't want you guys to be able to, you know, go anywhere else. I want you guys to stay with me for a little bit, you know, because I helped build the name too, you know, this is my band too.
Right.
So I felt like it'd be kind of weird for y'all to just like go and do it somewhere else, and maybe like I want to be able to protect you guys, you know.
Right. But it's a lot of pressure now.
It is a lot of pressure, and I'm not a freaking label exec. Like I'm not. That's not my thing, you know. Like I'm still in the mix. So I've
done that before, and then like dissolved it because I was like, this is a lot of shit.
That's it. So we're going to get this record, and I'm like, I'm gonna figure out something, but yeah, it's a learning experience, and they've been real patient, and they've been, you know, working on the album and getting it right. And I didn't want to do anything when they said, I was just like, look, you guys, it would help because you guys can all do your own thing, but we already built Fleet Nationals. We've been touring and stuff. Why don't we, you know, capitalize off that? You guys should do a album, nothing to do with me. You guys can produce it, write it together if you want. I can just help with the, you know, facilitating some features here and there, and, you know, help put it out. You know what I'm saying? I can put it out through, you know, my resources as well. So they did that. They went in my studio and just recorded the whole album like in a week, and then they just kept working on it. They're still working on it, but it's definitely dropping this year, and they got incredible records on there. Damn. And I'm glad they took their time with it. It's really amazing. And shout out to Nima and Ghazi. They're putting it out through Empire, right? And it's gonna be sick, bro. They've started doing some shows and stuff. So
it's crazy because I've joined you right around the OBE Volume 1 era. Then there was OBE Volume 2, the No Worries record, Venice, Malibu, Oxnard, and we're here at Ventura. That is crazy.
A lot of material.
OB Volume 1 started pretty much in this vicinity of this neighborhood, you know, like Koreatown. There was a moment where, you know, when we became really good friends, we're mobbing around Koreatown. So even this neighborhood has actually kind of seen you grow from early days.
Oh, yeah, bro. You kidding me?
We go to
Cafe Blue, What was the pizza spot?
Coney.
Coney is still there?
Coney's still there.
Wow. Yeah. What's the homie's name?
Peter. Shout out Peter.
Yeah, dude.
But they've seen, I mean, still see them once in a while, and everyone's, yeah, they're always all very proud of you. Like, it's so weird.
So much love.
You know, you rep Oxnard, but definitely there's like this part of you that's very K-Town too.
Absolutely, bro. Yeah.
We did a song called K-Town Girl.
K-Town Girl. Come on, bro.
Fools in Korea still be playing that.
They slept on that.
Yeah, that was a good record. I still love that record.
That was when I was signed to you.
I love it. Yeah, I love
this gonna be your hit, bro.
Yeah, I had like a girl
when you were managing me.
I had the girl I was dating in that video. We were all like mobbing together. It was fun times, man. That was fun.
Prince. Yeah.
Man, it's a long journey, but I gotta ask you, just also a lot of cats who've seen us grow too, you know, and people always ask, because we are like older artists, you know, we're not just like any new cat or just jumping into this. We didn't jump into it. We've been working hard since a very young age till now. And like, you've been in this journey so long, and you were very patient with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like because we have so many friends that kind of stopped because life just happens. Yeah. We all know that life just happens. I don't blame anybody on things that happen and they stop doing music or whatnot. Like, what is one thing that you can tell young people coming up? Like, what kind of advice would you give them, like, as they're going through some shit while balancing out like their passion, you know?
I mean, dude, I mean, everybody asks that advice and everything, but honestly, don't take no one's advice. Do you. And honestly, proof is in the pudding. Proof is in your actions. What you doing when people are not watching you, how much you can endure, how much stamina, how much you really want it is going to show. And people are going to see that. And if they don't see that, they're going to move right along. That's the only reason why you wanted to help me, because obviously you saw I had some kind of passion. I was willing to do whatever it took, you know what I'm saying? This is what I really bled for, you know? And I see people all the time act like they really want it, and they don't. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. They really just want to be famous. Right. Or they really just want to find a shortcut.
That's true.
And they really just want some quick cash. And I had to learn that quick. Like, get over that small cash, small money thing, because you're going to end up playing yourself out before you even get to your real big coin. You know
I remember seeing those moments too, where you were very tempted to just be like, yo, why are we not taking this quick little joint?
I did it. You know what I'm saying? I got so much material out. I got so many things, videos, stuff, because you know, so I did so many decisions based off of like, oh, I just got to get this real quick, you know, like any means necessary. And that hunger is cool, but just don't play yourself out for small cash, or don't try to sell something, or give up because you're not making something monetarily. You're not making money right away.
So is it ultimately like just don't be afraid to take that time on that?
Yes, don't be afraid, man. Forget all this networking and clubbing stuff, bro. Right. You're 20 years old. You're in 20s, dude. Just work on your craft.
That's true.
Be the dopest.
Yeah.
Work every day on that, bro. Like, stop playing with me. Like, you're out in the club more than you are on these beats or on these raps. Or you're on your Instagram fronting like it's all the life, but you ain't got no music. Like,
I think
knock that shit off.
And I think that's the thing. People get really fooled because they'll see a 16-year-old kid get a $3 million deal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, but it's like you can't be comparing your life to other people's.
Know what you want for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, really know what you want for you before you get out here and trick off, you know? Like,
do you think that's a very scary thing, though, in general? Because everything moves so fast with young people, and, like, things could happen really fast.
That's why you can't be afraid to take it slow, man.
Right.
You know, that's what it is. Everybody's, you know, moving at the speed of light, but ain't nothing wrong with taking it slow and get to know yourself. Go get some experiences under your belt, fall down a couple of times, learn from it, and get better.
And that's kind of what we've been seeing in hip hop and music in general, with a lot of young people moving really fast,
getting way too fast out here.
You know, and then getting, you know, really in dark places.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with drugs and depression.
Mm-hmm.
That's moving fast.
Can you imagine, bro, if one of us, when we were 18 years old, had $3 million,
right,
we would be fucking dead.
I think the big problem too, though, is that it's not just the young people. Older people tend to exploit young people in music.
Well, they gotta get it quick because some music is going to spoil quick.
That's
some
true.
Stuff you can't have out in the sun too long. It's going to be bad. Milk is only good for a certain amount of time, fam. That shit is going to rot, and they gotta get the most out of it.
And that's a lot of the music now, right?
That's it. You know what I'm saying? And the people putting all this money, they don't care about the health and well being of these kids out here that are getting all this money. They just wanna. That
is sad, though, because you can't put all the blame on the youth. Like, they got posses of older people that should be checking them early on.
Exactly, dude. And
they're not.
God bless the OGs that are checking them, and God bless the youngsters that got people in their corner that are telling them when they're out of pocket and not just exploiting them. I think that's one thing that I always had.
When you see that, do you feel like you were kind of blessed to pop off at such like a later age?
Absolutely,
in a way?
That was just my saving grace, man. Right. That's why I was able to appreciate everything. That's why,
because that's very rare, actually. You know,
it is, dog. You know, I didn't get cracking. You know, like signed really till I was like 30, right, or close to 30.
Wow,
you know,
that's
when
crazy.
I finally got to Dre and stuff.
That is such a blessing in disguise.
But
man.
It was like by then. Like when I got signed, it wasn't like, okay, I got signed and I'll have to make this kind of music. Like, it was just like cool. Like, by then the people wanted me to do what I did, and I was so confident in what I did. Then nobody could do me like me, is what I felt.
Right.
And so I couldn't get to that point without all that time just learning and watching. I'm still putting out shit.
Right.
And still growing, and some people think that's the better stuff, you know. Some people like the new stuff, whatever. But it was all just an experience in artist development.
The journey, man. That's why it's so special watching that journey, bro. Because it could have just the momentum could have died down at any minute, you know.
Dude.
But it just kept growing, and it's such a beautiful thing. It just kept growing.
Bro. Yeah, man.
Every project, everything was just growing and falling into the pieces, like like God's plan,
divine,
like real
divine,
shit. Yeah. Like, it was crazy, bro.
No, it's it's been dope to see that with you too, man.
Oh no, I'm
the complete evolution,
constant
seeing the maturation,
inspired, bro. And here's the thing, like, it's a roller coaster, man. There's dark times you go through, and you're like, you know, my career has been a fucking roller coaster. You know, lit, man. Not lit, lit, like all types of shit.
Right,
but I tell you got to keep creating these bullets and taking shots. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's it, bro.
I was gonna say, so like the music discography already looking crazy.
Bullets of truth. I mean, some would call it. Right?
Some would call it the bullets of truth. Mm-hmm. Fucking asshole. All right. Now, you're moving on to like interesting projects too. We're working on something. I want to keep that under wraps. It's dope. We're working on something, and I'm glad that we're able to still work on things.
Yes.
You know,
Thank you
together.
For this. Yes.
But there's you're doing some voiceover work. You're on Trolls World Tour.
I got my first real acting gig.
Is that your first thing?
I mean,
we did a little.
You know what? Come on.
All right,
First
okay.
with you.
Okay,
Pause.
we got just we got to mention we did do a web series 5 years ago or so called Run DMZ.
Classic.
And your acting was actually phenomenal in that, by the way.
Cisco and Ebert did say...
98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes. Riveting performance.
We did a web series that I wrote with my boy Jackson Adams, who was part of like the Watsky camp.
Right.
And I casted all the homies, you, Jose Rios on the Free Nats. We had Wax in there. We had all the homies and even certain stars that blew up. Randall Park was in an episode. And he's on Fresh Off the Boat. You know, he's on movies on Netflix. Homegirl Victoria, she's on The Flash on
Everyone
CW.
went off to have great careers, but unfortunately, no one called us yet. But we still got a chance.
No one has credited Run DMZ for their success. No, I'm kidding. No, it was just a fun thing we did, and you know, I got somehow they gave us a budget to shoot this thing. And oh, by the way, you scored the whole thing.
It did.
A lot of people, we don't think about that, but this was like your first thing you scored. This was like 10 episodes. You did the whole scoring, all original production on it.
Yep.
That's pretty crazy,
Dude,
bro.
It was the hardest thing ever. One of the hardest things
I remember you were in the studio like 24-hour sessions doing this thing.
Yes, because they needed drafts, and it was crazy, man. It was so much fun, though. I want to watch that.
You starred in it. You scored it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Getting all that work.
If you can find it in the dark web of Run, look for
at
it. Run DMZ. But
yeah,
but
Run DMZ to Trolls too, baby. I'm looking good.
I mean, but I think you're gonna go off to have a good acting career too, actually, because you have that quality, bro.
I really like the voiceover.
You do
vibe.
like that, yeah.
I really would like to jump more into that. That was a lot of fun.
And so you're doing the Trolls World Tour thing, and you've already did it.
Yes, yeah. Shout out to Justin Timberlake. He hit me up and he finessed that. He was just like, man,
they got to get you in there.
I'm doing the whole thing, man. I'm gonna get you in there, bro. You know,
coming out April 2020, and that's something you want to do more of.
Oh man, I would love to do more of that.
Yeah, and then for the kids, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
They're gonna watch you on as a troll.
Yeah. My son, my oldest, was low-key jealous. He didn't believe me.
As a troll, right?
Like, guess who's in the new Trolls movie? And he's like, yeah, right.
Oh, for real?
Yes, I am.
They knew about the franchise?
Like, yeah, right. Yeah, they love Trolls. Yeah.
That's sick. That's sick.
It's gonna be fun, and we make some sick music too.
Oh yeah, and you were talking about like your next project, you're gonna try to incorporate a lot of interesting visual stuff, right?
Yes, yeah. Definitely want to move into that. I definitely would want my next project to be paired with a sick visual movie piece. So
yeah,
that's what I want to do for the next one for sure. Working on just like finding the sound for it.
Man, I'm stoked. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm glad really you pulled up on me, bro. You know, he was actually the first ever interview I did on my web series, The Hot Box.
Yep.
And I did 50 episodes of a show where I interviewed guests in a smoky car. And you were episode number 1.
That was sick.
That was dope.
The performance. It was great.
A lot of amazing artists on that show, but always pulling up on your boy, man. That's why I love you, bro.
I love you too, man.
The loyalty is amazing. Stay tuned for more Anderson Paak. Oh, you're hitting the road, world tour.
Yeah, about to hit the festival run and do my thing out there. So I'm going to Europe, and I'll come back and pull up.
Stay tuned, man. We're working on some interesting stuff, and we're gonna announce that to you real soon. But it's some crazy shit. Anderson Paak. Tune in next week for another episode of Fun with Dumb.
DFD.